Buongiorno, buonasera, benvenuti amici. Welcome, my friends. Welcome to my channel, Fountain Pen Therapy. I have another pen review for you folks. I noticed that our mentor, Chris Rapp, has reviewed this pen already. He has reviewed the gold and red version that I believe was sent to him for review. I'm not one of those fortunate ones that get pens for reviewing purposes. I have to buy mine, but I purchased one, and it's the Asvine P80, and this is the silver blue. A very interesting pen, folks. What I propose is that we take a close look at this pen. It'll make a great Christmas gift. Christmas is approaching. I've got all kinds of reviews lined up for you guys. So you can send emails to your loved ones and say, this is the pen I want for Christmas. Or you can, treat yourself as you wish, or you can treat a loved one, a friend, etc., etc. Christmas is important. And, for those of us who love pens, it's easy to shop for us. I tell my wife, my kids, get me a pen and you'll do all right. So let's see. Will this make a good Christmas gift? Will this give us good writing experience? Is this going to give us fountain pen therapy? Stay tuned, folks. So we're back, and here's that lovely pen. These pens with metal overlay, or skeleton, as some would call it, are becoming more and more popular. Now, it's been some time that I had received this pen, and I had was waiting for my review. I've actually ordered, I believe there's another 3 similar skeleton overlay metal pens that I had ordered, and this one was ordered from Etsy, and Etsy is usually a little bit quicker in terms of delivery. The other ones were ordered from, actually this was ordered from Amazon, who are really quick. And the others have been ordered either with Etsy or AliExpress and are taking a little bit longer. But I was most anxious to give you my thoughts on this pen, and I did not want to wait indefinitely for the others. And what I thought I'd do is at the end of the year, there's probably going to be a video where I'm going to be comparing them all and give you maybe my thoughts and the winner of which one, in my opinion, is the nicest or the best, if you will, of these skeleton overlay type pens. So without further ado, here it is. This is the P80, the Asvine P80. Asvine making just wonderful pens. And I mentioned in one of my videos that I've read that Asvine and Ongdian are probably from the same group of companies. If they are together, let me tell you, I think they've taken over in terms of, Pen BBS is really, we don't hear much from them. Majon they're coming up with pens once in a while, but not at the frequency that Ogdean and that Asvine are doing. So we have also these, we also have Jinhao, who are always in the picture. But there again, Jinhao has come out with a couple of bangs, but we haven't heard from them since. So what does this pen do for me? Well, the first thing I've got to notice, and I think that I have to mention, is this beautiful, the combination of silver and that blue transparent underlying acrylic. Very, very nice. I really did like the pen that Chris Rapp reviewed, the gold and red. I think I'm going to get that one. At the time that I wanted to order this, it was no longer available or was not available. So I went with my second favorite, which was this blue and silver. But I believe just last night when I was just surfing, I remember seeing it available again, and I may very well pull the trigger on that red and gold one. Now, what is to notice about is that this is a fairly large pen, and we'll do some comparisons in just a few minutes. But bigger than its other Asvine skeleton pen, I can tell you, and probably bigger than some others. Also, it's a torpedo shaped. It's P80, so P standing for piston, whereas the V models of Asvine are for vacuum fillers. Very nice. So the overlay is there, as you could see it. It has the Asvine branding with the number of the pen, the P80, which is always a very nice touch. As I mentioned, the two finials are torpedo shaped. Very, very nice. Solid. The clip, stiff, but appears to be functional. The other thing that I like about this overlay is, unlike some other pens, there's no sharp edges here. Very smooth. So very well finished. Very, very well finished. As you could see. Now let's just see how many. One turn. Whoa, about 1.5, I would say, to reveal this, what usually is a very nice nib. This is an Asvine Fine. I prefer the Asvine Medium, but I could not get this pen with the medium. I'm not even sure it comes in medium. I will be putting up, while I'm talking, some pictures of all the various colors that are available if I haven't already done so. And that will include whether or not the medium is available. I just forget at this point in time. Their nibs are usually very, very nice, and usually write a bigger line than the indication. So the mediums are nice medium lines, and the fines are almost mediums. So at least that's my recollection or my experience. So there you have it. Nice. This long section here, because of the weight of the pen, usually these sections can be problematic insofar as they may be slippery. But I've got to tell you, it's just fine. Very comfortable, well balanced. The threads here are almost, you can't hardly feel them, frankly. The little step up here is well machined. There's no edges to speak of. Okay. It is a piston filler, and you can see how that piston filler works. And just when we'll take a few seconds to do the size comparison, I will pull out the wrench that I received with this pen, and that I think we receive, especially if you order from Amazon. It's in the box. So it's a multi-use wrench for multi-pens, for several other pens as well, which is very, very useful. So you have that provided for you should you want to remove those pistons. But what I'm getting, the message I'm getting from some of the experts who like these things, is that there's no real need to remove that piston every time you wash out this pen. You may want to do it from time to time to lubricate it, etc., but it's not something that you should do, every week, every time you ink or wash the pen. That section can be removed. The nib section can be removed, and you can get into the pen that way. Especially with this transparent acrylic, you can visualize what's in there and proceed to clean it out properly that way. Does this pen post? Folks, I don't know what to tell you. I don't think it posts, but some people think that it does. I mean, take a look. It just barely sits there and pops out. So I've come to the conclusion that this pen cannot be posted. And if it does, I would think, let's just see, that it will, well, if it posts, you have to literally, push it in. And if you do, then at that point, it doesn't appear to affect the piston knob at all. But I got to tell you, it's just too loose for it to have a reasonable posting. Now, you can't push it in, and it will stay there. I just noticed. But I don't like the idea that I have to kind of push the pen so much to get it to post. And then I think eventually, you see, it starts to move, and now it's just loosens up and removes. So folks, my opinion, this pen doesn't post. Okay, it doesn't post. Now let's take a look inside that cap. We're always interested to see whether or not there's any inserts, any plastic inserts that can assist and help in the sealing. There it is. You could see it. There is a, you can see the screw way back in there, way back in the pen, probably holding up that clip. But in between there, you could see that there's a nice plastic insert. It's black colored. That looks like this pen will have a nice seal and not be susceptible to drying, which is always a very nice touch. So again, I'm really impressed. I'm really happy with this pen. It is on the hefty side, and it's big. But you know what? I'm getting used to these metal pens. You know, one of my viewers said, "Hey, what happened to the reviewer who said he specializes in and loves Italian pens? You know, what happened?" And that comment kind of got to me, because I do love Italian pens, and I've got all kinds. I just noticed that my viewers, at least the ones I have subscribed, you know, enjoy these Chinese pens at very reasonable prices. And I find that our friends at Leonardo are exaggerating. They've kind of lost the touch to attract all of us. They're overpricing. Thank God there's some inexpensive deltas that have come out recently that I think I'm going to purchase. But you know, Italian pens are becoming, in my view, overpriced. A little bit like Montblanc, you know, the Montegrappas, the Viscontis. Let's not talk about Visconti and Montegrappa. I think completely overblown. Okay, I still have faith in Leonardo. You know what? I enjoy Gioia. I enjoy Maiora. I enjoy Tebaldi. I enjoy Stipula. I'm a little bit disappointed with Leonardo, and I'm a little bit disappointed with Delta because they haven't come up with their own nibs yet. Wake up, folks. Wake up. And I find that their pens are basically the same pen with different materials. And okay, yeah, that's nice, but you know, give us something else once in a while, and give us something reasonable. You know what? The Ungdians, the Asvines, the Jinows, they're giving me piston fillers at $30-40. For as long as they give me that, I'm buying them. The Italians can wait. Sorry, folks. It's just that I think that sometimes, you know, they need to be told. They need to be told. There you have it. So, enough ranting and raving. We'll step away for a few seconds, organize my size comparison. Also, I'll get that wrench so that I can show it to you. We'll be right back. Okay, so we're back for a size comparison. And before we proceed with the size comparison, here's that wrench that I was talking to you about that was included in my box. The typical plastic Asvine box that their pens come in. And to my great surprise and much appreciated is this wrench, which, as you could see, has probably can accommodate a few pens. So there you have it. The wrench is there. Very nice touch for Asvine. So here's the comparison, and I've chosen two other skeleton pens. This is the D1, Youngdian D1. This is the Asvine V169, and what I find fascinating about this one is just with the black nib. Very, very nice. So that's another Asvine. The edges are a little sharper than the subject pen, and that pen being big, but this one is bigger, as you can see. So the P80 is bigger. You can see this is the Majon C4, I believe. The C4. Then you have the Asvine P36 and compared to an Opus 88. So you could see that it's the Opus 88 is just as big, maybe a little girthier, but, or should I say the subject pen, the P80, is just as big as, or at least just as long as the Opus 88, and the Opus 88 is a huge pen. In my, it's not a, extremely huge, but I think you can, categorize it as an oversized pen, if you will. Okay, so there you have it. The size comparison posted. Here are the pens uncapped and unposted, and as you could see, the P80 is slightly smaller than my Opus, but all the pens are pretty well the same size. And by the way, I thought that the V169 has a little bit rougher edges, but nothing compared to the D1. It's the D1, I knew one of the two, D1, that I believe the edges are much sharper than certainly than the two Asvines. Okay, and there you have it. So that's the comparison of the pens, uncapped and unposted. I did want to show you a posted comparison, but then I realized that I don't believe that this pen posts very well, and I think most of the other pens don't either. So we can skip that. We'll go straight to the measurements and then the writing sample. Okay, so we're back for the writing sample. First of all, the ink. Well, the ink I'm going to use, folks, is this ink from Eero. Again, my camera is just doesn't like. There we go. Eero, which I purchased, I believe, in probably AliExpress. So Eero being one of the pen makers, Chinese pen maker. Some people have said that they may be related to Asvine or even Ongdian, or they may even be the parent company. It's hard to follow all these companies, and I like to buy these Chinese the inks because they're cheap, and I tried a few of them, and I like this color. The swatch for that ink is this one. It's kind of a dark blue with a little bit of a gray silverish tone, some shading, very little sheening. I can see some red sheen, but very little, at least in this swatch. So I think it's going to be a nice match for that blue acrylic under that overlay, and we'll see how that works out. And my recollection is it's a nice ink. So that is the ink we'll be using today. As far as the journal is concerned, this is going to be a journal I've been using lately. It's the Galen Leather notepad, Tomor River 52 GMS. So we will use that for the writing sample. Let me just bring it in as close as possible. So again, Asvine, let's see what you can do. So this is the Asvine P80, and it's the spider skeleton blue silver. The nib, and look at this juicy fine nib, is a steel number 6 Asvine fine nib. The ink is Eero blue. And gotta tell you folks, this pen, or this nib, juicy, wet, Very nice lines, doesn't skip a beat. Really nice fine. It's got some very gentle feedback, what I would call good feedback. Just a little skip there, but it's probably me. I think doing very, very well. Some fast writing. As you could see, doesn't skip a beat. Very nice. So I would say very wet, especially for a fine. Very smooth. With good feedback. And very constant. Very nice so far. Got to tell you, very surprised. I like this fine nib. Really like it. And you know what? I'm getting used to these fine nibs. I mean, I don't think they'll ever replace in my heart and in my therapy stubs, but very nice nonetheless. Likes and dislikes. I got to tell you, as I'm writing, I have very few dislikes, but what I noticed is that it is a little slippery. Contrary to what I said earlier, depending on, I guess, where you start with your fingers, it was a little, because of the weight, it kind of does slip in your hand. So I don't want to mislead anybody that it isn't slippery. It is slippery. The likes is just the design and the build quality is just top notch. The nib is just absolutely just 10 on 10 for the nib. The value, I'll put the prices up on the screen, but you know, when you can get a pen of this quality for less than $50, you're a winner. Again, you can't beat that. It's a 10 on 10. Any other dislikes? You know, I would have liked, it's not a dislike. What I would have liked is that this silver have a more of a matte finish. Because I'm just a sucker for matte as opposed to bright chrome. Okay, let me just give you an example of a toned down, matte finish would be something that would resemble this. Just a little bit matte here. You could see it now. Is this titanium, etc. But I guess something that would resemble more titanium than chrome is something that I think I would prefer, frankly. But that's just a preference. It's not to say that I dislike the material that's used here. Okay, I really I can't say that. So again, as you can see, this Asvine just comes to the top. I have nothing else to say except to sign my name to this review. And once again, thank you for joining me. Please subscribe. It helps the channel. And please stay tuned. I think what I'm going to be doing from here on in, at least until the end of the holidays, is that to the extent that I get anything new, anything recent, it'll probably go up, probably Saturday or Sunday. And then during the week, I might put up 1 or 2 videos of maybe some older models or, stuff that we've seen before that may be interesting, at least for the Christmas season, for you guys to consider in terms of gifts, etc. So maybe that's what we'll do. I know that I'm working also on a part 2 of my comprehensive guide of notebooks. I'm gathering and I'm receiving slowly a bunch of other notebooks and journals that I want to add to my very long but very comprehensive examination or analysis of various notebooks. Please look at that video. It's really useful if you're looking for notebooks. And I've gathered about another dozen, perhaps, so that we could add that. And it'll be a good part 2. I've got a few more that I'm waiting. and waiting for. And as soon as I get them, the review will be out. So thank you very much for joining me, and ciao.